Hi students, this is going to be relatively short for this lesson. We are going to be applying law of sines and law of cosines to context problems. So that's what our lesson is going to be. Let's go ahead and we're going to start with just one problem. Okay. So here is our problem. So the first thing we're going to do is read this, definitely mark things up and draw a triangle. So if you want to go ahead and read this, try your triangle and just pause me for now. Okay, so a golfer hits an errant tee shot. So this is basically a shot that goes wild into the rough, which is the longer grass. A marker in the center of the fairway is 150 yards from the center of the green. While standing on the marker, so here is going to be the marker. Here is the, let's see, this is going to be the center of the green. So we're going to put a little flag here. So this is where we want the ball to go. And let me just change colors here. Okay. So this is a total of 150 yards away. Okay. Now it says that this golfer is going to turn. So it says he's going to turn 110 degrees towards his ball. And he's facing the green here, okay? So he's facing this way. This is where he's looking. So we know that this right here would be 90 degrees. So he wants to go a little further for 110. So let me go ahead and get these off of here. So 110, we'll go ahead and say something, oopsies, sorry. We'll say something like this, and it says it was 35 yards. So let's make this a little shorter here, something like that. Okay, so we have 35 yards. And the question is, how far is the ball? So here's where the ball is, okay? How far is the ball from the center of the green? So this is what we need to solve for. So we're going to say, let x represent distance in yards. Let's see, let x represent the distance in yards of ball to center of green. Okay, so we look at this problem. We see that we have some given information. Let's go ahead and put in the degrees here. So this is 110 degrees. So we have this angle here. We have two sides. And we need to find that third side. So the first thing you want to think about is, do you have a right triangle? And we do not. So in that case, we're going to have to use one of our other tools. And we can see right here, we're dealing with non-right triangles. So we can use law of sines, law of cosines. If I were to try to use law of sines, if you can try that and set it up, you're going to have two unknowns in a single equation. That is not going to work for us. So what we're going to need to do is use law of cosines. So this, we'll keep that as angle M. And so this will be, let's say, little m. Let's do that instead of the x so we can be consistent here. I'm going to change that up. So let m represent the distance in yards. Okay, so we would have m squared equals 150 squared plus 35 squared minus 2 times 150 times 35 times the cosine of 110 degrees, making sure that you are in degrees. Okay, so let me go ahead and get some calculating done here. And I definitely encourage you to do some of this on your own and then, just pause me and check as you go. Okay, so I have m squared equals, this will be 23,725 minus, let's see, 10,500 cosine of 110 degrees. So I'm going to put this whole thing, I'm going to actually take the square root of both sides. So I'm going to put this whole thing under a radical. Because what I'd really like to do is type this all in the calculator at once. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to be really careful with my parentheses here to make sure I get everything in. So I have 23725 minus 10,500 cosine of 110. And what I get here is plus or minus 165.276. That's a point there. And of course, this is an estimate, so we want to say it's approximately equal. Now, you do have to show both of the answers because both of these are algebraically solutions. But then when we answer our question, we're going to say the ball is approximately 165.276 yards from the center of the green. So when we get to class, you're basically going to get some pretty, I think, pretty interesting and in-depth context problems. And your tools are going to be using these law of sines, law of cosines. If it's a right triangle, then you can look at your trig ratios and Pythagorean theorem. But for the most part, we're going to be practicing these non-right triangles. Okay, I'm going to post another video about radians, so definitely take a look at that after you're done with this.